love the background.
Whoa!
It's kind of like I love when there's like a real fat beat, and then like
yeah.
And
all right.
Yeah, and there's
awesome.
There's just commentary. You have to be sparing with it. You have to add it like once per bar, so it has to be like, yep, yeah, awesome, yeah. Like, I love that.
How's our audio?
Let me check.
I made sure to fix the audio this time.
For realsies, dealsies.
For realsies, dealsies, it should be working. If it ain't working, then we're gonna have some problems. Problem's gonna be our audio not working and us having to fix it. And it's gonna suck ass, and I don't want to do it.
Alright, let me check. Wiggle the mouse and the controls.
Do you hear these awesome game design sounds?
A little bit. Alright.
Alright, should begin. Hello, everybody! Welcome back to Peepolorians. Watch the cord there.
I can't. It's in complete darkness.
You're right. We should probably... Okay, you know what? We'll put it up here, and it'll be fine.
I'm Taylor. That's Lujak. We're in complete darkness.
We're in complete darkness.
Portal 2.
And I can't stop thinking about how annoyingly obsessed WB is with making Batman old. Because listen, it isn't just the fact that he would be too old to be doing what he's doing. It's also just the knowledge of knowing that, like, when Terry McGinnis comes into the world, Bruce is going to be dead. He's going to be he's not going to have a mentor. He's never going to become Batman because Bruce is going to be gone already.
He can't even come back as a Force ghost because you know he's a purist, that like he's like a body purist or whatever, and he can't become a ghost and have ghost powers.
Yeah, Batman as a ghost, that would never happen.
Yeah, he as a backup. I feel like he wouldn't be a ghost, but he would definitely like have like a protocol that was uploaded to the Bat computer that was just a series of like...
Yeah, he'd be an AI for sure.
Oh, he's got the hologram technology to train Israel.
Yeah, he does. I feel like there's been a comic about him being a computer. Was it in the Harley Quinn Future comic?
That would make sense.
I feel like it had. I feel like I remember that happening.
I didn't read that, but
I did. It was pretty fun. Listen, Batman showed up for the first time in the Titans, in DC's Titans, and you know what I said when he showed up? I said, "Hey, Alfred!" I seriously thought he was Alfred. He's Ser Jorah from fucking Game of Thrones, and he looks like goddamn Alfred.
There's something really funny about, like, because this messed me up recently. I've been thinking about how, like, someone once said that the reason why what's his name? The reason why they got Tom Holland for Spider-Man and that they wanted Spider-Man to basically be like not even like an adult at the start of the MCU is that they would get the most mileage out of the character and the actor growing up. And I'm like, okay, like in a cynical sort of way, that makes sense. But there's something really funny about that in the wider context of movies where...
For staggering your way through Aperture Science's propulsion gel testing, you've made real contributions to society for a change, and for that, humanity is grateful. If you had any belongings, please pick them up now. We don't want old newspapers and sticks cluttering up the building. For many of you, I realize $60 is an unprecedented windfall, so don't go spending it all on, I don't know, Carolyn, what do these people buy? Tattered hats? Beard dirt?
What? What were you saying?
Standard hobo supplies.
Standard hobo
supply store. You're like, the hobo supply store. And you walk in, and a security guard stops you. He's like, do you have your card? And he's like, what? And it turns out it's like a club store, like Costco.
Oh, no.
Adult Swim, hire me. I'm at least 50. I'm at least slightly more hit than miss than whoever you currently have on staff.
But yeah, Spider-Man I have the opposite problem with, because Whereas Batman is...
I was reeling that back into the Batman thing, where there's something funny about, like, the concept of getting a young actor so they have more time, and then you have the polar opposite of that, of not the actor's age, but the character's age, being, like, already old when they show up, and, like, on their way out. But there wasn't, like... I think behind the scenes, I feel like they were like, "Hey, can you make a Batman movie?" And Zack Snyder was like, "Yeah, it should be like what is it? Like Return to the Batman." Hold on, it should be like Batman Returns or something, you know, where he's been gone a while and he's back, because that's like, we know that on some level he really, really wanted something like that. Which, yeah, that could be fun, but the thing is, it means that Batman's the Ben Affleck's Batman. His intro to the series is where he's already old.
Yeah.
So, like, he got barely any time to do anything.
Yeah. And
they didn't give him any good business in Justice League because he was kind of, like, underpowered. And I even had, like, a good writing shenanigans to fix that, too.
Yeah. See, for Spider-Man, it's the opposite problem, because, like, Spider-Man and Iron Man are supposed to be, like, you know, colleagues, but they have a more father-son dynamic in the movies because of the age difference, and that's also kind of weird to me. Hot Aunt May is also very weird to me. She's making me feel things I don't want to feel about a character called Aunt May.
About, in a cosmic sense, Aunt May has always been hot at one point or another. That's the secret. Hot Aunt May, it just puts the camera on that stage of her life.
Yes, at one point, but not in this point. This isn't the point for that.
Look, I'm saying, editor put up, what?
Caroline, why do I know this woman? Did I kill her? Or...
Maybe I killed her?
Oh my god.
Subtitles are wrong.
Look, you're doing a great job. Can you handle things for yourself for a while? I need to think.
She's Carolyn.
I think she's Carolyn.
But yeah.
Right. No. I was thinking about the whole like age thing, and then I was like, you know, having a young actor specifically for a big long franchise makes sense if the actor is going to actually be around that long, because they're like. But, like, you can think of it, like, long-term, be like, sure, we're gonna use these guys, but it's something really funny about how we currently have, like Iron Man basically, or Tony Stark, the character, basically died middle-aged, and Captain America basically was aged in the background, probably had a bunch of adventures, but he aged in another universe and showed up old.
Yeah.
So, like, those actors, unless it's, like, flashbacks or ghosts or shapeshifting or whatever, like, aren't gonna show up again. And so I look at, like, I think about it, now that I think about it, yeah, Spider-Man is, like, one of the few characters that'll be played by the same actor for a while. That maybe that's why they didn't, like... Well, I'm glad they didn't just, like, waste him and were like, oh, this is just another character that is going to dissolve.
Right.
You can add in Spider-Man dissolving from Infinity War. Very funny.
I don't feel so good.
Add the confetti sound effect in there. No, you already activated the gel pressure.
Yeah, but, like, I only see the blue gel.
Wait, look at what... Alright, so there's some blue gel. And then... there's some white gel that came out.
Yeah, isn't that just water? Or
No, white gel is portable.
Say what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh.
It's a delicate balance of talking about fun stuff and actually playing the game. Every time I think about like strategy for doing one of these games, the staff that we need on hand keeps getting more like wider, because I'm like, oh well, we should also have someone watching the chat. Oh, what if we just? And I'm like, at some point, it's just we're gonna have it's gonna be outsourced to everything. Where it's like we hire an editor and we hire like a speedrunner who's actually playing the game, and then we're just talking over it. A couple of goofs twiddling our fingers.
It's gonna go.
How is that elevator not working? Look how it's not pristine, but like
it's shiny.
It's lit up.
It is lit up. Okay, so there's the blue gel.
Which implies you gotta bounce somewhere. Oh.
Wait!
Okay.
Oh, hey, look at that.
But there's a grate, so it'll go through the floor and onto the floor. Aha!
Oh, I get it.
You see that
move? Hey, look, there's
the platform shifts a little bit when you're on it.
Oh,
Dang.
shit. For science!
Yeah.
Yep. Alright. That was great.
Man, I was gonna say, who killed the bird?
Oh!
I feel like if I was one of those...
Alright, back to thinking.
If I was one of those, like, YouTubers that did those, like, 3-hour video retrospectives on a game, I feel like I would write up, like, a bunch of paragraphs about, like, the bird seems important. Because it's got the whole, like, you know how when we picked up the different turret, it's like, I'm different.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and it's like, Prometheus was punished for eating by birds, and then you actually run into GLaDOS who's being eaten by a bird. But here's the weird thing, there shouldn't be birds down here. Like, if we're going by how far we fell, and how presumably the Wheatley/GLaDOS, like, room is only like 4 floors below the surface, that still means like we fell like a kilometer down. There shouldn't be birds all the way down here.
Dude, you're right. That's fucking weird. What's up with that? Oh wait, this is where I came from, isn't it?
Those birds are using the dwarf magic from God of War.
Some kind of God of War dwarf magic.
Editor, add in like clip art of like a pillar and then a bird, and it flies behind it and disappears. Thank you. My favorite thing about the editor gag, one, we don't have an editor as of now, of the recording of this, but also that if we eventually do get an editor, then we'll have like the 30 remaster of our streams where there's actually an editor to put in the gags.
Yeah, and instructions will all be here pre-recorded too, so like it won't it'll be fine.
It's so beautiful.
Okay.
When in doubt, go up. Oh wait, what's up there?
I don't know. It's over there. Can I go over there? Let's go over there.
Wait. Hold
on. There's a thing down there. I think that's right.
Are you already over there?
Was I?
Look at the sign.
Pump Station Gamma.
So we go into the pharmacy, and there's a sign that says, select narcotics in time delay safe. And I look at the pharmacist and I say, well, if you insist.
Well, if you insist. That's funny.
I told that I actually got a giggle out of the pharmacist there.
Wait, hold on. Is that okay? Yeah, no. Oh, you go.
All right, hold on. Let me have that little sip of chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
All right. Let's see here.
Tyler's on the controls.
So, if we can't fire there, wait a minute. What's the highest I can? Oh, okay. I probably want to go at least up there.
I forgot you could zoom in. How do you do that? Middle button?
Scroll wheel.
Yeah.
Woo.
Huh.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
No. Okay.
That feels weird.
And then I think we just have to. I think we have to zigzag from here. Also, just
Combataton testing area.
Yeah, it's not combatation. It's Combataton. Combataton with me. Okay. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's where.
So I've been reevaluating my thoughts on She-Hulk, and the more I think about it, the less annoyed I am by it. Like, I think She-Hulk is I already thought it was a fun show.
What? Do you think I can hit that? Because that would be a little.
No, I don't think so. Wait, can you hit that over there? Oh.
I mean, I could still hit that weird like gap area, but there's nothing. Yeah, it's too low.
No. But yeah, She-Hulk. It's a fun show. It's kind of weird with the fourth wall breaking. Deadpool did it, and it was kind of funny with him. And it's kind of funny when She-Hulk does it.
I gotta say,
the ending was weird, though.
The funny thing is that, like, from the interviews, I know... The sad thing is that I feel like normally I get into, like, these moments where I'm just like, oh, well, the person behind this had, like, a fundamentally just different idea of how this character is supposed to work. Or something. Like, that's when I'm mad at, you know, Zack Snyder or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, from the interviews with Jessica Gao, like, she really likes She-Hulk. She's a big She-Hulk nerd, but we just straight up have different opinions on, like, how much that she should be allowed to be talking to the the camera.
Like, see, the reason why that caught me off guard is, like, I watch a lot of comic book YouTube channels. I've always known that She-Hulk did that, but I also kind of always assumed that was dropped from her character, and that's why Deadpool is the one who's known for it. I assumed that if they were both doing it, then they would both be equally known for doing it, like, currently, unless people are just sexist and hate She-Hulk. I don't know. Like...
Do you think I could just jump onto that thing over there?
Maybe. Try it. No, don't try it. That's stupid.
That's probably why they fenced this off, is I'd be able to just go down there.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings on the fourth wall ending. Like, one feels like a bit of a cop-out. Not because I don't agree with the rewrite that She-Hulk did, but because I feel like that should have just been what we were doing already. But... Yeah. We had a good opportunity to call Kevin Feige a robot and make fun of how repetitive the MCU's done, and I feel like we all kind of needed that.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's like, oh man, it's like picking a Pokemon starter. I can have the plot that was straight up good from the start, or I can have the catharsis of being like, man, fuck you, Kevin. This is all your fault, Kevin. Don't think I don't know. Your silence speaks volumes when Thor: Love and Thunder, like, still exists, and I know that, like, no one mentions Kevin for some reason, despite him still being, like, the head of the MCU and deciding on all the, like what timeline every, like, animators have. But, like, I feel like his silence speaks volumes when there's articles that are just like, oh, actually, everything down to the animation, the stunts, the writing, the editing was Taika Waititi's fault. And it's like, yeah, I don't think the guy who directed Jojo Rabbit suddenly just
stopped knowing how to make a good movie.
Yeah, he suddenly lost his ability to, like, because what you're really claiming at the end of the day is this is a guy who's made solid gold, like, everything he touched, except with Marvel. I don't think it's his fault at that point. I think that's a Marvel issue.
Yeah, that's definitely a Marvel issue.
Like, I feel like we should be bouncing... Wait a minute. Hold on. There is... I feel like I'm just...
I will say, I think the best thing to come out of Phase 4 was probably Moon Knight. Moon Knight was fucking great.
I know what I'm doing now. I feel silly. I'm supposed to launch myself through there.
Are you? Okay. Well, yeah, I feel dumb. That was awesome. Aperture.
You know it's a... it's like one of those, like, fictional factories when... They've got, like, a bunch of pistons just kind of slamming into the floor.
Yeah, for no reason.
I think on TV Tropes they call that the Smoke and Fire Factory.
Oh yeah.
Which I love that concept, or that term.
Yeah. But yeah, did you see Moon Knight?
I saw Moon Knight.
Moon Knight was fucking great.
I feel like there's bits of...
hold on. Since making test participation mandatory for all employees, the quality of our test subjects has risen dramatically. Employee retention, however...
Shake the potato.
As a result...
Gaddis is like, dude, stop it.
Phase out human testing. There's still a few things left to wrap up, though. The bean counters told me we literally could not afford to buy $7 worth of moon rocks, much less 70 million. Bought them anyway. Ground them up, mixed them into a gel. And guess what? Ground up moon rocks are pure poison. I am deathly ill. Still, it turns out they're a great portal conductor. So now, we're going to see if jumping in and out of these new portals can somehow...
Oh, is that why you're able to portal the fucking moon?
And also why he's dead.
So the portal...
Stay positive and do some science.
Now, this reveal...
I would really appreciate it if you could test as fast as possible. Carolyn, please bring me more pain pills.
So
the portable walls are made out of moon?
Yeah, which is a really neat concept, but it accidentally makes the portal gun way less like universally powerful than it seemed like it would be. Like, it's still an expensive bit of hardware, but like there's no military applications to a portal gun that only works
on the moon,
on things that are painted on the moon, yes, or painted with moon dust.
So also on the moon, essentially.
Oh,
as long as there's some kind of moon on the area.
As long as they're painted.
That's why I can't just portal onto any wall.
Which makes sense, and is a fun limitation.
My new boss is a robot, but did you know? Robots are smarter than you. Robots are colder than you. Robots are better than you. Volunteer for testing today.
The thing is,
great.
The funny thing about
wait, go back. That got.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, robots don't sleep.
Stop leaning into me. I need my elbow. Here's my question though, is that this is in the past area. This is 1980 something. This is Bite of 87 zone,
right? Which
implies that they were trying to phase out human testing way before Shell showed up. So, which implies either Shell showed up to a company that was phasing out testing and she needed $60 or whatever, or she was an employee at Aperture, which I guess is also possible.
I think she wasn't she supposed to be the daughter of one of the people.
Oh, that was the what's the word? The theory that she was the daughter of someone who worked here. Even more thematically interesting if she was the secret love child of Carolyn.
Oh, dude,
which would make GLaDOS your weird robot mom.
Oh my god! Why didn't they do that?
I mean, it makes sense, and it's something that feels like it would be in a game that had a little more time, which is why there should be a third game, and
there should be a third game where GLaDOS is revealed to be a weird robot mom.
Let's just make a third game and just bring it all together. It's got Aperture Science, it's got Black Mesa, it's got time loops, and it's got zombies from Left 4 Dead. Because you just
put Left 4 Dead in there. Half-Life and Portal are already together. Just add Left 4 Dead into it. It's fine.
Yeah.
People will love it.
Alright, this is one of my favorite things.
So wait, that means that's just liquefied moon rocks?
Yeah, just don't worry about it.
My head. So I've started watching Mandalorian. I finally have watched all of the Star Wars movies.
You know there's no one in the chat right now because no one's responding to this. No one's making funny comments about this endless stream of white liquid.
Me every Friday.
Me with your mum.
Me and the boys getting crazy on Saturday Night Live. I don't know.
Saturday Night Live. As the prophecy foretold.
They got canceled after this.
Interesting. The portal, notice that it moved all the way over here. It's because it funnels towards where it needs to be.
Yeah.
I don't have to paint this whole area. I just really like to, and then I actually solve the puzzle.
Yeah, I get that. I like doing that too.
So once we can get some of this goo all the way out there.
But dude, I'm watching The Mandalorian now.
Oh, nice.
I finally watched all the Star Wars movies. It only took me 30 years, but I've finally gotten to where I can start checking out the shows now, and I know that it would make more sense to start with the Clone Wars so that I have more context for whatever weird Easter eggs we get. But Mandalorian looks really good, and I didn't want to wait
it's
anymore.
Going out at an angle, so I can sort of just aim this and sort of lob it where I need to go.
Nice. But yeah, so I'm watching Mandalorian now, and it's fucking great.
Yeah, Mandalorian. It's funny because I remember my older brother says this a lot, that the reason why an important reason why the Mandalorian is good is that if you build, if you try to make a Star Wars story with Star Wars itself, you end up with sort of a photocopy issue where you're referencing something. You got just endless references. You end up with sort of the J.J. Abrams movies.
I feel like most of the new trilogy was just referencing the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Last Jedi tried to do something different, and then Rise of Skywalker was like, no, you can't.
No, that's too creative, and that's that's kind of a shame. But here's
Very unfortunate.
Okay, but here's where's I going with that? Where's I going with that? So
when you try to make a Star Wars movie with the Star Wars property,
if you want to make something good and Star Wars
would
you don't build just
from
from Star Wars. You build from the things that inspired Star Wars. That way, you're working from a wider body of work. Otherwise, you end up sort of recursing, where you do the J.J. Abrams thing, and you're like, oh, we're gonna make a Star Wars movie. It's gonna have all the things that you've already seen, and all the characters are all doing exactly what they were before, or whatever. Sorry, I'm losing my mind a little bit. I think I need you to pilot so I can think.
All right, sure.
I can't I can't do puzzles. And so with the Mandalorian, it was they were clearly they're like, oh, we're gonna make a Star Wars show, but at its core, it's a Western. It's a neo-Western show.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I kind of stopped paying attention to what you were trying to do, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
We're trying to paint these towers so we can go up them, and then I think eventually we'll be on top of a tower. And you gotta make sure that you're only placing the beta portal so you can still. Well, okay.
Ah! I feel like Star Wars would just benefit more if it were a series of shows and not movies. Because
that is kind of funny when you think about it. What if
there's Star Wars just feels too big for it to exist in movie formats.
Maybe that's I hope they take notes from how popular their shows are now and just go oh, wait a minute, we can just make shows and people like them?
Yeah, can we just make that the new norm going forward? Can we give Rey a show? Can we give Luke and Leia a show where they're being young Jedis? Leia I am especially upset about, because here's the thing about Leia. Leia did nothing in any of the movies. She's never done anything. And in the Rise of Skywalker, they make it very clear that yes, she was a Jedi. She did the training. She has a lightsaber. She can use the Force. It wasn't just out of nowhere that she magically. Yeah, no one pillow, no blankets. It wasn't just magic that she was able to pull herself back into the ship at the end of Last Jedi. So here's my problem with that. Why don't we get to fucking see it? Why don't we get to see Leia being a Jedi? Why didn't we get to see Luke doing more shit in his youth? Why didn't we get to see these characters doing things after the Empire and make them feel... Because I watched the movies and, listen, I gotta be honest with you guys. I did not care about Luke, and I cared even less about Anakin. It was cool to see what Luke was doing. The lightsaber fights were cool. It was interesting to finally see the movies that people loved so much. But I care more about the characters in The Mandalorian than I ever cared about any of the characters in any Star Wars movie I've ever seen in my life. Ever.
Maybe they should stick to shows.
They should just stick to shows.
And while we're at it, here's my new big brain idea. Okay, here's the concept. If you want to make a neo-western or a drama or something, just use your real actors, whatever. But if you want to do anything with Jedi, just make it animated. You're gonna save so much. I know that it's not the same. You probably don't get the same prestige, but the fact that it's so funny, like, seeing the technical aspect of, like, oh, well, when we have live action, whenever we have a live action, like, actor, but anytime they're actually moving around, we gotta replace them with a stunt double. Unless they're doing something really impossible, and then we replace them with, like, photorealistic CG that we can't look too closely at, and I'm like, well, just cut out the middleman and just start with CGI and turn that into a show, and I'm just repitching Clone Wars to you, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's probably why Rebels exists, is they realize that, like, oh, there's a lot of material to work with here. What if we keep doing that?
What if we just did that?
If you ever want, like, to really wrinkle your brain, go watch the it still feels like a dream that I had, but it's real. There's a Star Trek show that is like the exact vibe of one of those like weird side like backdoor pilots that would show up in like Clone Wars.
Right.
There's a Star Trek show that feels like Star Wars Rebels.
Really?
And I keep forgetting what it's called, and I watched like a handful of episodes, and then I stopped, and I've never gone back to it. But I was going on my list of like fun questions to ask at a party. You know, like my fun media questions, like what anime do you wish had a second anime that branched off of it?
Yeah.
What franchise do you wish got the Resident Evil treatment, where it's a game but they made a movie about it that's like barely related? Well, a fun one for you. Oh, hello.
Hello, what? Corrupt Catalyst. Fun fact, the best in the
entire series is about to commence. Oh, about the lemons?
Also, my guy, you already put goo in.
Yeah.
Well, look, man,
I got a habit of covering the entire area with goo and then strategizing from there.
Also, I kind of took over for Taylor in the middle of a puzzle and wasn't really paying attention, so I don't actually know what I'm supposed to be doing. Get back on the controls.
Sorry.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
But one of my other, like... Sorry, I have a habit of like going to bullet points and then forgetting what I was doing before the bullet points. As a fun question to ask at parties, and it's media adaptations, and
also hello, Corrupt Catalyst. Welcome to the stream.
Let's see. I know. Oh, right. Can I get up there?
Yeah, they should just make Star Wars shows now.
Oh no! Right. The Star Trek. So we know now that just straight up there's a show out there that feels like Star Wars Rebels, but is actually Star Trek. If there was a thing that you could copy between Star Wars and Star Trek and put it in the other franchise, what would it be?
See, I want to weigh in on this, but I never got into Star Trek, and much like Star Wars, it's one of those things that I would like to get into, but I don't think I have the proper streaming service for it anymore, because, like, what is it on now? Isn't it on, like, Paramount Plus?
I've been thinking. When life gives you
I love
lemons,
this one.
don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemon back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these?
Yeah, take the lemons.
Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons.
Oh, I like this guy.
I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down.
Burning people. He said what we're all thinking.
Burn people!
We can store music on a compact disc. Why can't we store a man's intelligence and personality on one? So I have the engineers figuring that out now. Brain mapping, artificial intelligence. We should have been working on it 30 years ago. I will say this, and I'm gonna say it on tape so everybody hears it 100 times a day. If I die before you people can pour me into a computer, I want Carolyn to run this place.
And now Carolyn
She'll say she can't.
ported.
She's modest like that, but you make her. Hell, put her in my computer. I don't care. It's over.
So Cave Johnson was just straight up a bad dude.
Back to your desk.
I mean,
like, he was just a bad person.
You know, I was about to be like, and I realized
was that Arglados responding to the recording, or was that a recording
she was responding in real time?
Okay, cool. Oh, what were we gonna say?
And I was doing E, so I'd wiggle it with anger. But the...
Whoop.
Yeah, question for Corrupt Catalyst. What's a thing in Star Wars or Star Trek that you wish you could copy? Because mine is, I would love a Star Trek... No, sorry, not a Star Trek. A Star Wars, port of Lower Decks, where it's just... It's all the funky, silly things that would happen in the background of Star Wars, but and from the perspective of a handful of characters that are just like tramp freighters or something. Oh yeah, this part is just you clamoring up here.
Clamoring upwards.
Although I always check the little offices in case they have something cool. Let's just go on the left there.
Boom,
But yeah, it feels like a fever dream that there's just a Star Trek show that I keep forgetting is in Star Trek instead of Star Wars, and then you see a hologram of Janeway, and you're like, oh, that's a hologram of Janeway, Captain Janeway from Star Trek Voyager.
Where this show is.
Yes, it's a Star Trek show, and I'm like, I forgot that because in the meantime, I saw a whole bunch of aliens that would be too complex to show up in live action. I just realized we could theoretically be in the golden age of sci-fi simply because we finally reached that point where you could have any shape of alien in a movie.
Yeah.
I just realized that now should be the perfect time to start adding weirder aliens in Star Wars.
Make them weirder. Give them more tits. I don't know.
I guess that
we had 3 tits, not a 4th one. Let's get weird.
I was gonna say, add more weird aliens. Then I realized that
give a man 2 penises.
When I say weird aliens, I'm imagining like things with like radial symmetry. In the meantime, they're like, oh, weird aliens. All right, what if we add like a guy who's like a little puppet whose name is like Boba Freak? I know his name's Babu Frick, which is also not a name.
Babu Frick.
His name is Babu Frick. He is like a foot tall.
Yeah, what is up with Babu Frick?
And he's only in that one scene, and I guess that's fine. But there's something really funny about there's so many aliens in Star Wars, and
hold on, what is the name of Chewie's girlfriend? Is it Maz or is it Maze? How do you pronounce it?
Skrunkly, I don't know.
It's M-A-Z, but I can't remember how you pronounce it. I can't.
Maz, Canada?
I don't know if it's Maz or Maze.
I don't know. Hold on, we'll ask the folks at home. Do you know... I thought Chewbacca... Is he, married? I thought he was married.
Well, no, wasn't he dating the Maz girl from, the last Jedi?
The orange lady?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Small... Well, then what was her affiliation with anyone?
I think they knew each other.
They knew each other? I thought they were dating. Were they not dating?
I don't think so.
Why did I think they were dating?
That is really funny, though.
Can I go higher?
There's some things in Star Wars that are funky but work, like Babu Frick, and then there's stuff like Lloyd, who's a big slug creature, and he's supposed to be a mechanic, but I'm like...
Oh, wait, hold on. Am I supposed to jump over to there?
Yeah, and I'm
I'm
done. That creature, he has no limbs. He can't be a mechanic. You have to give him limbs to operate machinery.
Nah, it's fine.
Which ironically is the polar opposite of Chewbacca, where he has all 4 limbs and is capable of speech, except people just kind of they sort of interact with him as if he's kind of a smart dog.
Yeah.
Especially in the expanded universe books where everyone's like, hey, who let this dog have a gun? And it's sir, there's a whole...
That is a very intelligent species that you're making fun of.
That's the funniest thing
Okay, Taylor, help me out here. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, and that's the funniest thing about Wookiees is that, and the folks at home, you'll be like, well, it doesn't seem like that's how the setting treats them. And here's the thing, though. Wookiees aren't allowed to get subtitles. So you're never told what a Wookiee actually is actually saying, despite having a full language. And the more you think about it, the weirder it gets.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I will say, I did like that moment in Solo where Han, like, is talking to Chewie and he just responds in, like, Wookiee. But, like, when Han talks in Wookiee, there are subtitles.
That's even funny.
Yeah, the humans get Wookiee subtitles.
What was that? It's like, there's a gag like that once where it was, it's like a guy. It wasn't an actual nature documentary. It was like a parody of one, but where a guy is like, "Hey, wait a minute. Why does he get subtitles? But you can understand him, or you can understand him way more clearly than me." Try that again, but with a little more.
I will say, in Rise of Skywalker, as mediocre as it was, I did like the part where they learned that Poe was a spice runner, and they just have this moment where it's like, "You were a spice runner? You were a stormtrooper? Were you a spice runner? Were you a scavenger? We could do this all day!" And, like, two things. One, that's pretty funny, but two, I feel like being a spice runner is probably worse than being a scavenger, but being a stormtrooper is worse than either of those.
No, yeah, I can accept that. In fact, I feel like... Sorry, I messed that up again. Because I need to build up a lot of momentum, which means I need to do like a double fall.
You gotta get higher, go higher.
There we go, and back up all the way over here. Yes!
It was still a pretty funny scene, though.
Ow.
One funny scene in like a very mediocre movie.
Man!
Zora was also kind of cool. I hope she shows up in another show.
There's something really funny in retrospect about how there was like the stinger, the last bit of the Han Solo movie where there's just live action Darth Maul. And you think I would be more psyched about that, but my...
You know, that's fair, GLaDOS. I think we can get along while you're stuck in this potato form. But yeah, what were you saying? We were talking about Star Wars. Solo, Darth Maul.
Yeah, and it's funny because you ever had a moment where you realized that you weren't excited about something because you were already excited about something very similar but different?
Oh, are you talking about how Rogue One already did that with Darth Vader?
No. Like, a good example is how, like, when Book of Boba Fett was coming out, everyone was like, hey, you released The Mandalorian, and we're like, oh, this isn't Boba Fett, this is his own guy. And then you gave him a little kid, and you're like, oh, he's a dad now. And that just, like, made him so cool that Boba Fett wasn't, like, as cool anymore. And so by the time Boba Fett shows up, you're like, oh, what is this guy? He's not as good as Mandalorian. Like, it's that, but with Darth Maul, but it's the same character, where I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, Darth Maul in live action, but, there's no way he's gonna move like he would if you just put him in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They did, and, like, you get better fights in Clone Wars than you do in live action. It's just, you
can do more with animation.
It turns out that it's way easier to let characters flip around and defy gravity when they're fictional.
Yeah. There's more.
I remember
stuff to
really
work with
struggling with this one.
But here's another thing. So Han's girlfriend that like survives at the end of Solo. What? Well, what the fuck happens to her? Because, like, listen, she showed up, and I was expecting her to die for the whole movie, and then when she didn't, I wasn't relieved. I was more confused.
Reverse Rogue One moment where you're like, I think this character's gonna die. Oh, wait, you're alive?
No,
I don't know what they do with you.
No. This is what my thought process was. My thought process was, okay, so this girl's gonna die, right? She's gonna die because like she doesn't exist in the rest of the franchise as far as I know, right? Moment. This is the first time we've seen her, and then she just leaves with Darth Maul. So immediately I'm like, what the fuck was she doing in Phantom Menace? What the fuck was she doing any whenever? What did she? What was the purpose in having her survive in this movie?
Well, that was Darth Maul with the robot legs, I think, which would have meant that it was after Phantom Menace.
Like, okay, but unless this girl exists in Clone Wars...
Yeah, maybe she does. I didn't look it up. I'm sorry.
Because if she does exist in Clone Wars, then I look like an absolute asshole. And I've already told you guys that I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it after Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. I know that's going backwards, but look, the Mandalorians are way cooler, and I want to see what they're up to first.
And while we're on the topic of bullying writers and directors for not using their own canon... Does anyone else think it's weird how Captain Phasma has like stormtrooper armor that's like straight up just super good and makes an awesome like tank shell shell hitting a tank noise when it's shot?
He was wasted.
So wasted.
Why
would you when you have?
They made this really cool looking character, gave her really cool shit, and did nothing with her. For shame.
Like what? Why would you do that? It's what's funny is that I have the polar opposite feeling with the Obi-Wan show, which my brain keeps forgetting exists, because as much as I would like more Obi-Wan,
I don't know where we're going.
As much as I would like to see more adventures with Obi-Wan, what turned me off was that it was Obi-Wan when he's on Tatooine, and I'm like, well. Now you're ruining the illusion of Obi-Wan as he was originally envisioned, which is he was doing the thing, the funniest and dumbest thing that Jedi do: go into exile and be boring for like 30 years. Like, there's something really funny in a cosmic sense that there is now a show that's like, actually, no, Obi-Wan was doing cool stuff when he was just, bumming around in the desert for like a decade. No, he was doing cool stuff, okay? He wasn't just exiled.
He wasn't just bumming around being boring for 30 years or whatever.
Which, in retrospect, I'm like, all right, well, can you just keep doing that with all the characters that like you didn't give any business to? Like, can you do that for Luke, please?
Please do that for Luke. I am so desperate for something interesting to happen with Luke. Nothing cool happens to Luke after the original trilogy.
There's gotta be someone at the
and that's why Luke is the most boring character in my mind, because he and Rey are now like the two protagonists who have nothing going on outside of their movies.
It's actually, I told Lujak, I'm like, there had to be a thing where they had like the writing meeting or whatever, and J.J. Abrams is like, okay, here's how this whole thing is gonna go down, and Luke tried to do the Jedi Temple School thing, but it didn't pan out, and there had to be like one guy in that room who had like the little booklet full of like pilot episode ideas for like a Jedi Temple themed show.
Oh yeah,
who was just so mad. Like there had to be one person in that room who was like, "Wait, hold on. So we're not going to have like a team of Jedi kids in the background that are learning? We're just throwing that out. I mean, like, we're not going to have any Jedi in this entire era."
See, that's the other thing. The prequels. For as much as everyone likes to make fun of them, they had one thing going for them that the original trilogy didn't, and it was more Jedi. Like, we at least got to see what other Jedi looks like.
That's the funniest thing about Star Wars, is that it gives one of the coolest aspects of it. It's like, here you go. It's like, we have the best chocolate in the world. Oh, I would like this. No, we don't have any of that right now.
It's like Star Wars feels like it's like, because they killed the original trilogy is like all the Jedi are dead, and then the new trilogy is like the Jedi were restored kind of, but now they're dead again, and it's like, stop killing Jedi. Look, Star Wars, I really feel like the future for your franchise needs to be having more Jedi. Like, we did the Jedi versus the Sith thing. We had the war twice now. do something else. Bring back more Jedi and stop making them fight Sith. In fact, reestablish the Sith. Have some dude be interested in Sith power, study it, and reestablish as an order that doesn't operate just based on evil, but as something that exists as an actual opposite to the light side of the Force. Make it a yin-yang thing instead of a good-evil thing.
Can you imagine?
Like,
it's actually like just sort of a... Can you imagine how imagine how busted the balance of the Force would be if one of the many people who were trained as a Sith and then went and did their own thing because Palpatine just either thought they were dead or didn't care. Like, if they had gone and just trained an entire school in the Sith, like, they could have if they wanted to.
Yeah, dude, I just thought of a way okay, alright, hear me out. So, Kylo Ren gets redeemed. Yeah, we have that happen, but then don't kill him. Right? Hear me out. We don't kill Kylo Ren. We instead keep them and Rey both alive, and then we have a TV spin-off show where Kylo Ren, now going by Ben, decides to restructure the Sith under a more positive code of ethics. So we got Rey rebuilding the Jedi, and Ben rebuilding the Sith, and like a better light.
Wasn't that... Hey, wait a minute. Do you think that was one of the... Not that specifically, but do you think, like, a Jedi and Sith, like, being, like, actually united was, like, something they pitched and then was shot down? That's why it feels like it would just fit in there, where it's like, oh, yeah, with both Jedi and Sith orders ended, Rey and Kylo are basically the only two people still around, and they're like, hey, what if we just don't call it Jedi and Sith and we just like figure out how to use cool Force powers?
You just combined, you stop having a Jedi and a Sith and you just have like one order of the Force where you just learn all the stuff there is to learn about the Force, and you stop having these weird restrictions that both sides have because they don't want to correlate with each other.
It turns out the sliding the sliding scale of the Force is more about how much ego you're using.
Yeah, turns out the thing about the Force is kind of just, are you a prick? Because if you're a prick, then you're just going to be a dick of a Sith person, and you're going to be a dick of a Jedi too. You're going to be a dick either way.
There's something really funny about it. I remember the System Mastery talking about that. There we go. The concept of that if you're a Jedi. Or if you're a Jedi, the shorthand for a Jedi turning evil is whenever they're using their like Sith powers as a Jedi, like when Anakin is like really mad at someone and he like force chokes them. But what's funny is that like that's like thematic shorthand. It makes sense, but it's way funnier if there's like a Jedi and he's like, I hate this guy, and he just like punches him, or like a Jedi has never been like, I hate that guy, and like stabs a guy with a regular non-force knife.
Yeah, no, they just choke them.
It's always using the Sith powers, and I always figured that they're linked, which is why it'd be funny if it's like, I've avoided being corrupted by Sith by just using this regular knife whenever I'm doing something evil. Maybe that's what the Sith knife was all about.
Maybe.
All of my Sith powers into this knife. Shut up with this knife.
Shut up with this knife. There's your...
that's, by the way,
there's your World Doctor's reference.
The Sith knife is definitely going on my list of things that were clearly like a cool idea that someone came up with that was like just most of it was cut. Guaranteed that's one of those expanded universe things that makes more sense with context, but they forgot to add the context.
Yeah, they literally just used it for like some kind of Nathan Drake type location puzzle thing, and then just threw it away like, well, we're done with this now.
I can't get over the calling.
Am I the only one who thought that?
No, it makes sense though. It's exactly what it is. The Sith knife is a Nathan Drake thingy.
Nathan Drake artifact. Let me pull this thing out and just kind of look at everything through it. There's the shape
totally
that it matches. Whatever, man.
It's totally a Nathan Drake.
It is 100%. These guys played the first Uncharted game and were like, this is kind of cool. Let's do that.
Alright, so I'm gonna go through there and fly out of there, so hopefully it works. Yeah. Woo! Oof. That's not bouncy enough. So now, I'm gonna take a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Oh. No, wait. I need that. I'm gonna splash that, right? Then, add a little bit of the blue. Like so. There, now it should bounce. Some Nathan Drake stuff.
Some Nathan Drake stuff.
He's on that Nathan Drake shit.
He's on that Nathan Drake shit.
I do. There's one little bit, and like one reason besides the fact that it's like an artifact that's like powered by Sith magic, which is cool. I like that, which is why I feel like it's too cool for an Abrams gig or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh dang it! I put the blue stuff there.
No.
Hold on. Come on.
Nathan Drake shit.
No, but the other reason that I think it was really cool is that the dagger is carved into the shape of the fallen Death Star or whatever, which is something that would happen if it were like an artifact that had a lot of time, you know, like it wasn't like from an ancient, far lost era. It was after that thing fell and it became an unmovable landmark, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Hello. Woo! Oh, this is one of my favorite parts up here. All right, so we got these. And you see that vent system?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay. So we're gonna like, it's falling into there. And it's like, okay, well, we gotta paint the walls here. So maybe if I like put it right here, and it goes into the vent system.
Oh, okay. That's amazing.
It just sprays the entire rotunda.
That's fucking awesome.
That's just beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, and hopefully I did this right.
Wait, are you walking up the wall? How the fuck are you walking
I
up the wall?
got really good traction with these heels somehow.
You're literally just walking up the fucking wall right now. You can't do that in any other part of the game. Yeah, you're driving me up the wall.
Whoop. Alright, you do this. I need to get my brain back on track with some...
Oh, man. My eyes are watery. Alright.
It's like a fun little sort of artifact of like, I guess... I feel like when you're playing with a medium, you have to take like a handful of things that are just assumed and then change at least one thing. And I feel like that's one reason why I like General Grievous, is that he's not a Sith. He has lightsabers, but he doesn't actually...
Yeah, do you have to have force powers to like use lightsabers?
That's the funny thing. That's what I always assumed, but no.
Because like Finn used it in Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's now thematically... it's even holding a lightsaber usually implies that you have some destiny because of how like what's the word, like momentous it is as an item. But no, there are no rules for needing force powers to use a lightsaber, and it's just that it's very rare hardware. Which is really interesting because for General Grievous, he became like this crazy killing machine because he just instead of supplementing like lightsaber with force powers, he just has a lot of lightsabers and a lot of arms.
Yeah, which honestly is kind of one of the coolest things that Star Wars has ever done.
I think it's the reason why I love it so much.
I kind of wish there was more shit like that.
The reason why I love it so much is that he's a cyborg, which means that he's a character build. It's not like he was a four-armed alien that was like, oh, I can use these lightsabers so well. He's got like ball-bearing limbs and stuff, so that are cybernetically added. Like he's like basically an alien guy's like head and like lungs, and that's about it.
It's crazy, man. Okay, where the fuck am I going?
Well, when in doubt, always go up. And so I think, hey, that's just like that door we entered, except at a different angle. I say, oh, wait. Because I noticed there's some of these that we can at least stand on to get a little more height. We can't get up there or there. Oh, hello.
I wish there were more characters like General Grievous, just multi-limbed guys with lightsabers.
Yeah, because like the fact that like sure lightsabers are rare, but the fact that they so seldom end up in enemy hands feels like is there just like a secret order of Jedi and or Sith that are just constantly like finding it? Because it doesn't seem like. Because even the Jedi wouldn't be. I feel like it'd be way funnier if like that's the reason how General Grievous ended up with so many sabers is that like
he just found them.
No, that he killed Jedi, but that the other Jedi were like so like zen about it. They're like, he has his lightsabers. Well, I guess. Well, no one's using them now. We'll fight them during the war, but do we really need to go out of our way to? I don't know. I sort of lost the plot with that one, but
yeah,
I like the concept of Jedi and Sith. I like the concept of sort of writing Jedi and Sith as sort of opposite sides of the same coin, and that they're more like opposite extremes in a yin yang sense than opposites in good and evil.
Yeah, like you did the Rebellion versus Empire twice now. Like if you're gonna make another trilogy,
wait a minute,
do not fucking make it Jedi versus Empire again. Like we're done with Jedi versus Sith. We've seen it twice now. Do something else, please.
Needed to aim a little different.
Yeah, you gotta aim a little better than that, Bobby.
Sir?
I don't know why the fuck I turned into King of the Hill just now.
I watched a bit of King of the Hill while I was in Las Vegas.
I've seen a few episodes.
It was better than I expected. I thought it would be way dumber, but it's actually really cool.
It's actually one of the better animated shows out there. Like that's what people hold in high regards.
Keep in mind, I did only see like 1.5 episodes, so maybe I saw one really good one. But yeah. Okay,
I've seen a bit of King of the Hill. I've always enjoyed it. It's never been something that I'll like go out of my way to own the DVD box set for or whatever.
You're telling me you don't have the DVD box set?
That is an outdated reference at this point.
What, DVD box sets? Or
yeah, yeah. Like all the fucking high schoolers out there right now are like, "What are DVDs?"
DVDs nuts. Sorry.
Thank you.
It's a timeless classic because CDs as a joke is like Bart Simpson old.
CDs nuts. Oh, dude, you're right.
The Hatch Override. A long time ago when I was watching. Well, a long time ago when I was watching
in a galaxy Wars, far, far away.
I started compiling like just favorite weird stuff that I would see in Clone Wars, and so I have this list of like, oh, they got this defoliator cannon, they got this super heavy tank or whatever, and so I just keep that in my back pocket for if I'm ever trying to tell like a Star Wars story and I want to add something really cool and wonky. Okay, the pumps are on, and okay.
You know what I really want? I want Rey to get her own show where she's like training new Jedi, and in that show I want like Grogu or whatever the child's name was to fucking be in that school.
Whoa, wait. I figured it out. I figured out how to fix Star Wars. Okay, we gotta get all the way down there. We have Poe and Finn, and they fall into like a cryogenic freezer, like Futurama style. Are we stuck? Oh no, we're not. And then they wake up a zillion years later, and we don't know what era it is, but Grogu is there, and we don't have to deal with anything else that's happened.
I'd be okay with that.
And they have to deal with they have to deal with the romantic tension.
Yes. I do like how like Grogu's species and by extension Yoda's apparently like they live super long, but they also take super long to like grow up. Like Grogu is 50 and a baby.
I think he's like 80.
I thought it was 50.
And I think there was a joke that may have been an actual fan theory that Grogu's age.
Hold on. Like, I am watching Mandalorian right now, man.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they say he's 50.
I thought he was 80.
I'm pretty sure it's 50.
I think one of the jokes, though, was that theoretically he would have been born... I keep forgetting there's no flashlight on this thing.
He would have been born.
He would have been born at around the same time as.
It would have been like during the prequels, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think the joke / fan theory joke was, what if he's one of those Force dyads? Except, like, instead of, like, 2 humans, you have, like, Anakin, and then you have Grogu, and they're born at the same time. But Grogu takes so long to mature that he doesn't show up in the plot.
It has been an hour and 4 minutes now.
Oh, wow.
Are we almost at the boss fight, though? Like, is this game about to end? Should we
It's
just
a regular
keep going?
emancipation grid. And that's a regular elevator. Oh, hold on. I need to look at this real quick, because, like... The fact that this area, 1961, there are areas that were labeled like 1980, so it's weird that the vitrification order are 1961 Aperture Science Innovations. And that, theoretically, in level design, level design and world design are different, because in level design, it's like, oh yeah, we get into this, we go into the next place. But world design, look at that, it's aperture shaped.
Oh.
But world design, I'm like, wait a minute, this is an elevator, it goes up and down, which means that if someone took this elevator, they could have gone to the weird derelict part of this this facility, like, any day. And be like, oh yeah, I'm going to the weird deep salt mine place.
Dude, you're right.
Oh man, I love talking about Star Wars with you, but
I love that I can talk about Star Wars now.
One of my I wanted to say this on camera or whatever. I love the concept that force powers and stuff, like the force is particularly like strong in certain places, but it's not aligned to a side of the force. It just happens to be strong in certain places, which is why Jedi temples and Sith temples are basically built on the same, like, exact spot all the time.
Right. Here's my question. So, Mandalorians, right? The infantry guy mentions they only really come out one at a time, and everyone specifically refers to, like, the Mandalorian as just, like, Mando or whatever, if they gotta call him by name.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Is he just like the representative? Like, is he the only guy that comes up to work with the guild? Because, like...
That's a good point.
What do the... And, like... Well, yeah, and also, the point you made, what do his friends call him? Yeah. Like, also that.
I think, because you have to assume that they call each other specific names.
You gotta assume that. And Boba Fett has a name.
Hey, wait a minute.
Boba Fett has a name, Jango Fett has a name.
Which is just... Well, then again... Boba Fett is old enough to have been from before Mandalorians. He's from before Mandalorians became a creed instead of like a whole. Like,
okay. Also, here's the thing. I have some confusion about Boba Fett. How old is he supposed to be in the original trilogy?
In the original trilogy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I assume that he's maybe like 30 at the most.
So, you telling me 30 years passed between like Mandalorian and the original trilogy?
What are you trying to do the math for exactly?
Because isn't he like 60 in the Book of Boba Fett?
And the Book of Boba Fett, yeah.
And also in Mandalorian?
It's funny because I'm pretty sure the actor is like actually that age. So the fact that like he still looks pretty good and like and fit is just like, oh yeah, no, he's just built that book.
Yeah, but like does that timeline make sense though?
No, I think the timeline actually adds up. Where he's the age that he should be. He's not aging faster or slower, as if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, because like I was just trying to figure out how much time was supposed to have passed between the two. Like, does it make sense for Boba Fett to be this old?
Do you think I wish I knew the actor's name. Do you think the actor has like had to tell his agents like don't had to tell like agents or agencies like, hey, I know we're gonna get a lot of calls for me to play old clone troopers, but can you just stop. Like I just want to play Boba Fett, and they're like, yeah, but now that you're so seasoned and distinguished, you can play clone troopers who have rapidly aged. And he's like, no, stop it.
Look, just let me be my own show. You cut me out of like 3 episodes of my own show. Stop doing this to me. I don't know if it was 3, but I know that.
What if you can do voice acting and put the other guy out of a job?
No, that's the weird thing. I haven't
put up a picture of every single named clone trooper, and then with the caption "same voice actor."
Yeah, but that's the thing. I haven't actually. I'm watching Mandalorian right now. I haven't seen Book of Boba Fett right now, but I heard something about him being absent from a couple of his episodes, and that's weird to me.
Oh, of Boba Fett not being in
an episode of his own show.
That's
weird.
The joke is that Mandalorian was so popular that they brought him in for a couple episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. And I'm like, yeah, the Book of Boba Fett can have a little a Mandalorian as a treat.
There's a cosmic irony in the fact that Boba Fett was so cool if you saw him in the expanded. Here's the thing: if you only watch the movies, Boba Fett's just a bitch that got ate. But if you get into the expanded universe,
something.
Yeah, does he?
No, what I mean is it's the concept. He feel in the tiny amount of time that he was on screen, you thought, oh, this guy was probably really cool, or at least was meant to be.
Yeah.
And then in the expanded universe, they're like, yes, this guy's the best Batman in the universe.
And people got so people liked this character so much that we've been waiting for them to do more stuff with them. And when a Mandalorian show came out, everyone was like, why didn't you just make it Boba Fett though? But then Mandalorian turned out to be better than the Boba Fett. That by the time Boba Fett came out, they were like, well, no, we don't want him anymore.
I'm just imagining the actor for Boba Fett, with that specific Maori, I think, New Zealand accent, and he's just and he's holding a little puppet guy, and he's like, "Is this what you wanted, citizens of Tatooine? That I have a little guy? This is what the people." It's just Ming-Na Wen with their rifle standing by the side. It is what the people wanted.
It is what the people wanted.
Also, fun fact, Ming-Na Wen, she's 70.
Wow.
She's how? I don't know what she's made of, but she's built different.
Wait, hold on. Which character does she play?
She's the sniper lady. You don't see her much until she's
the sniper lady in the Mandalorian.
In a tiny bit of Mandalorian, and then shows up way more prominently in Book of Boba Fett. But she's probably one of my favorite actresses, and my joke is that she was brought in and sort of wasted in Mandalorian, but brought in and used to her full potential in Mao Mao Heroes of Heroes of Pure Heart, where they're like, yes, we're going to get Ming-Na Wen for this tiny cartoon, and she's gonna ham it up. It's gonna be beautiful.
I hope they do more stuff with Cara Dunes. She was fucking cool.
No, wait. I always get my Star Wars names confused.
Yeah, she was the one in The Mandalorian. Not the sniper lady. I don't know what the sniper... No, I do. It was Fennec something?
It
was
Fennec. Tell you you're named after a fox? What's a fox?
It was Fennec something. I don't remember. But we gotta
wrap things up.
Yeah, we gotta go.
I just love Star Wars.
I love Mandalorian. I've been pretty mediocre on Star Wars until I got to Mandalorian.
You gotta say, you're right. Judges, he's right. Star Wars should just be shows.
It should just be shows.
They can't, every time they make a movie, they can't fit enough into the movie.
Yeah, that's always... Yeah, just
what if they do the Nintendo thing? You know the joke where Nintendo makes good but bland platformers to pay for weird but not as popular side games like Mario Sunshine?
Right.
Well, what about that? But it's just yes, we make Star Wars movies to make money to pay for Star Wars
so that we can make the shows that are way better and are superior in every way.
So thank you so much for joining us.
I've
been Taylor.
I've been Lou Jack.
And he's reminding you
to take care.
Stay awesome.
Watch Mandalorian, it's really good.
And polish your Beskar.
Yeah, polish that Beskar.
Bye.
Bye.